All right. So this is VLADiK BRUTAL. I think this is an indie, maybe single person developing this game. It's using Unreal Engine 5. I'm gonna be playing this or trying this with mouse and keyboard because I don't know if I like this, and I don't want to spend time getting one of my Steam controller, the Gamesir, set up for the game unless I feel I'm going to spend time on the game. So, first thing is, this is quite a heavy game here. It's good, it's only, but it's about 40-50% of my GPU in the menu. It's good that the menu isn't too heavy. I think it's a little bit unnecessary, like pause menus and stuff like that. It's good if you can use those if you need to take a break for whatever, and that it just doesn't hammer your GPU or your computer. So, you know, it's decent. But it's probably gonna be much heavier in-game. But let's go for the most important thing first. This is how I approach any game, no matter if I'm doing video or not. It's checking the options, and you should too. And one of the most important things is to check the controls, because this is gonna give you a base idea about the game. So you have your basic mouse sensitivity. Doesn't seem to be any way to turn off smoothing or acceleration, something like that. So we have move, jump, sprint, crouch, okay, basic, attack, special. Use reloading, okay, so we're gonna have manual reloading, inventory, flashlight, quick save, alright, quick save to... Sheets, that's kinda interesting that you have that by that, alright, and you're gonna be driving. So this tells me that this is a pretty bare-bone game so far, right? The problem here is that it looks like we don't have any rebinding for weapons. That means that either we gonna have one, possibly two weapons at a time, or having to use our inventory to switch weapons, or the weapons are hard-coded to 1 to 0, which is obviously not good. You want to rebind everything. But when it comes to pure action, this tells me this should be a fairly bare-bone, mostly action, probably action-oriented game. Nothing too crazy, weird technique. We don't have dash, slide, you know, or something like grenades. Mostly about shooting and some stuff like that. Great thing to know before you start the game, and you can see that you can rebind and what buttons do what. Then for me the most important thing is going to the video tab, obviously. I can see that I can set my resolution, and this should obviously, if you play in full screen, match your monitor's resolution. I play in windowed mode, and you have exclusive, what it says as least, and borderless and window, really nice thing. Vertical sync on or off, you know, many people prefer it off because they feel that it impacts their input latency. I mostly, when I have headroom to spare, it's not a problem, but you can turn it off here. But then I would need to be having, let's see, is there any FPS lock here? FPS lock. There's a lot of settings here. That's going to be too much for a lot of people. I might be missing it, but I'm trying to just quickly scan for... And you can see all the options here, which is really great. I might be blind. I'm not spotting a FPS limiter at the moment. Oh, there we go. It's right underneath. Okay, so here you have the FPS limit. So many people prefer, you know, to just use VSync off and have a 120 frames frame cap, which is perfectly fine. And you seem to have some nice options: 60, 75, 90, 165, 240, 360, or unlocked. Should fit probably most people. You have different APIs. One might work better or worse for you. Upsampling if you want to do that. But I'm going to use DLSS. Right, I think that is what I had. Preset, FPS counter. I have MSI Afterburner, I don't need that. Lots and lots of settings here. Okay, everything is ultra here. A lot of blah blah blah. And some explanations. Distance, field, ambient occlusions, which is pretty interesting. That you can see what it's supposed to be affecting here. Motion blur on off, that's good. This is your VRAM utilization, pretty much. That's gonna be most of the VRAM hammering down on these settings. Great that you can turn off bloom, chromatic aberration and stuff like that. Turn down the film grain and vignette intensity. That's also good. This is, as you can see, that this can add a more of a film type of level, you know, kind of dirty feel to the game. But for recording and in generally, I don't prefer this one to be enabled. Resolution upscale or downscale, right? Blah blah blah. Yeah, exactly. Blah blah. Yeah, that's great. Some lots. So I've changed the not that one, not this one. I changed it from the custom because I felt this felt too cold and weird from my taste. So I changed to the default, has a mix of a warmer, darker feel to it. Let's change this 1 and 2, but most of this you're gonna have to dive into yourself. I might turn off ray tracing to showcase that. This is ray tracing using Lumen and stuff like that. I believe this is Unreal Engine 5, and don't know if this is hardware or software based ray tracing. We're gonna start with it off and I'm gonna turn it off in the game. I also changed this one. Might be good or bad depending on what you... Oh, you can move this. This is a new thing. Alright. Lots and lots of good tweaking options here. Might again be very too much for many people. But then you have a preset selection. Gameplay options. You can change your difficulty, that's good. I turn off cameras, shake and weapons way, I like that. Pick up flash effect, good, that you can tweak some flashing thing. Camera lag, I turned that one off. I guess that's also to make it more kind of lifelike, your body cam feeling, stuff like that. That seems to be a new thing happening. Crosshair size, okay, that's nice. Cinematic camera lag, turn off all of those and different crosshairs, which is it's a nice thing. And the crosshair size can be tweaked. Let's get into the game then, and you have your music and your game volume. I'm hoping that is... Yeah, that's music. This should be SFX. It's set to English. This is the supported language. Spoken language is gonna be, I believe, Russian. Fixed. But this is for... It's gonna be affecting subtitles only language. So far that I've noticed. So let's get into a new game here. Let's start with the middle one. Or is this level of difficulty? Normal, right? More features, more difficult. Let's go with that. Let me tab out and show you the performance. Hopefully I remember to turn off the camera later on. I missed that in a previous video here. So as you can see here, this just like Robocop Road Shit, it has some problems with performance. GPU or CPU is not maxed out, but I can still not get 120 frames per second. So there is some performance problems here. Again, GPU, CPU is not maxed out, but I cannot maintain 120 frames. And Robocop Road City had, I believe, the same issues in cutscenes also. Something is weird.
Всегда ори с толпой. Только так ты можешь быть в безопасности. Интересная цитатка. Владян, да ты брось чушь эту читать. Слушай.
Starts with some gruesome, brutal killing.
Тебя как на работу отправят.
Quite low voices, but I can't tweak that. The voices. That should be in the audio settings.
Вытащить одну батарейку и пронести незаметно. А я из этой батарейки сделаю зажигалку. Потом посидим, покурим. А то уже 100 лет не курил. Ну чё скажешь? Эх, Гаврюха, Гаврюха. Деловой ты, деловой. А потом чё, меня из-за этой зажигалки к сроку прибавят. А оно мне надо, Гаврюх. Не, давай что-нибудь другое придумай. Эх, понятно все.
Кто из вас код 4.8?
Ну это я.
На выход.
Ну все, Владян, удачи тебе. А ты, это, подумай, если что, над моим...
Well, I'm getting 120 frames within the game here. That's the most important thing, right? There is a lot of tearing going on here, so I'm gonna turn on VSync. There we go. Yeah, much less. And it still feels very good to me. I don't feel the input lag affecting me. Maybe quite a high sensitivity here. I don't know. Right. It does have an indie vibe to it. Nothing too bad about that.
Заключенный, отойди.
But here, and this is I would have liked the gameplay to turn off the lean sway thing here. You can see it kind of jiggles back and forth. That I would have loved to be able to turn off. Let me showcase something though. So why I like ray tracing, right? I think that's a cool thing. I would have, loved to play this maybe in 1080p. Turn down some things here. I'm running with DLSS. I could have turned that down to balance, let's just keep it. This might be a little bit of laggy or dropping frames here, but just to showcase, this is with ray tracing on. Right, I still get pretty good frames with ray tracing on. So why am I not playing the game like this? I'm trying to find a good spot for that to showcase. Let's walk a little bit and maybe it will be clear for you. But just like in Robocop Rogue City, ray tracing has a couple of problems that I noticed. I'm gonna actually do this so we don't cause any problem. Let's do this. Yeah, this is just showcasing ray tracing. And I wanna do this to really just go with that. There we go. There we go. I don't like 60 frames anymore. This feels very like stuttery to me, but hey, it's very playable. It's nothing wrong, and we have VSync and everything on. It looks pretty nice for definitely for one indie developers and everything here, but it has a little bit of an indie feel to it, especially some of the models. They're a little bit stiff, but that's no problem. But there was one reason I did not keep ray tracing on, and we're gonna see that maybe soon. Whoa, that was weird. So I played this to just make sure the game was running, so I know what we're supposed to do here.
Тебя надо выпустить. Так, сейчас разберусь.
This is a very... Woo! Almost a little bit too fast of an animation there. Right, but still it looks pretty decent, you know, a little bit of a indie feel or stiffness to some of the models here, but hey, it runs good for an Unreal Engine 5 game. That's an interesting look. Nothing too crazy about the environment, but yeah, it has an interesting vibe and you have a sprint button. I'm gonna try something just as a precaution thing here. I'm gonna turn, I think this is SFX, so they seem to be a little bit high in some areas. And this is where we go. Right. Definitely the textures aren't that crazy high detail or anything, but they're nothing too bad. Again, this is an indie game, so... And the most important thing is gonna be how they play, how it feels like playing this. Oh, no flashlight yet. Oh, let me maybe, once we are just checking a little bit of different graphics, so I wanted to showcase, so I changed this one, right, the tone mapper. This is what it came at, but to me it feels a little bit, it has a cold, maybe that is supposed to fit like the vibe, you know, of a Russian cold feeling, stuff like that, you know. But this has a little bit of a brighter, colder feeling, and I just felt that I like this option thing. For me, I really just like this a little bit warmer but darker kind of just overall is more my vibe. You're supposed to go out here, right? Yeah, I don't think that's the way. Right, here you can start seeing, if you look at the enemy, or not the enemy, the guard here, and the fences, there's a lots and lots of like these kind of like water noises on the fences especially. And that is the lumen ray tracing, and it's quite a lot of it, and I think if we turn it down to... It might be even a little bit more visual, yeah, a little bit more notes, and the enemy here, lots of like these ray tracing artifacts on the enemy there. And to make this game run good, I had to, you know, tweak this. I can turn down the settings to high and a lot of stuff. I think I ran it as medium. Oh my god, yeah, you can really see it now. It's just, the entire world is just like this really like watery effects on the prison walls here. You can see it almost like a rain. It's looking really bad. And if you then do, it looks perfectly stable. You don't get maybe the same, you know, oomph to lightning, but it's just, I cannot deal with that this type of ray tracing defects here, you know. The noise is just insane. So I pretty much need to turn this one up to Ultra Plus. Yeah, Ultra Plus, and it goes away. But this is super heavy. I cannot even maintain 60 frames with this. This looks nice, right? This has a great, nice, stable ray tracing to it. You should go here. Obviously I cannot play it like this, but even now there's still a lot of noise around the character there. And if you turn it off, and now it's just no, very little, barely any noticeable noise around the character or anything like that. It still seems to be some kind of weird effect there, but the fences and everything and the performance is just insanely much better. So I had to choose 120 frames, no ray tracing, no weird like this denoiser, really super high amount of noise on all but the highest settings there. And I like with the highest settings with DLSS unbalanced, it's just too crazy. Like I'm getting 30 frames, so this is how I'm gonna play it. So there you have the performance here. Let's quickly enumerate here. So 4040p here in this area, up to 65% of GPU utilization here on my RTX 3070. VRAM around 5 gig with OBS recording. A little bit of a hit on the system memory. You're gonna need more than 8 GB of system memory in your computer, because it's using up to 8 gig here. You're gonna probably need a multi how many core? Maybe 6 or 8 cores is recommended here, you know, around 6 cores. One core is being used a little bit more than the rest, but somewhere around the 6 core, 6 thread seems to be what the game mostly is using here. 6, maybe up to 8. 2 of my cores here aren't doing a lot, so I guess it can utilize up to around 10 cores, the game by default here. Pretty decent looking game here for indie, but it has a little bit definitely of an indie vibe to it. So hopefully we can get into the gameplay. It has this, I haven't really played it, but you know, both the Stalker and the Metro games I've seen a little bit. It has a little bit of that, you know, kind of grayish dark vibe to it, and I guess Industria also that kind of same, a little bit of the atmospheric and the graphical vibe here. But I do like the color palette here with the default tone mapper. And graphically again, it's alright, you know, and definitely good for an indie game. But it's gonna be interesting what the action is. So far the biggest thing is I would like to turn off the lean bobbing effect. Seems like the performance, we are up to 6 gig of VRAM now. It's climbing up. Let's keep the performance here to see if it stabilizes. So at least a 6 gig of VRAM is gonna be probably necessary for 4040p gaming without ray tracing. And again, just in Robocop Rogue City, ray tracing is just so noisy that I just cannot utilize that. I would love to, but again, it's just I haven't been able to found any like good settings for ray tracing to work. So I can't have this on Ultra Plus. Right? I could, you know, maybe run this, something like this. Possibly better with like medium settings. This seems to be very little different. So up to Ultra is around 80 frames. Going to medium is the same frame rate. Low and Ultra seems to be the same frame rate impact here. Reflections off. That is really taxing. On low settings we have 80, 85. That's an impact. There is a difference between low probably medium. Very little difference there. Again, I would love to play with ray tracing on. This is pretty playable. Not too much noise going on in this area, but I think if we go in here, it will be more noticeable again, the noise. But around 90 to 100 frames with ray tracing here, not too crazy.
Заключенный под номером 4-8. Пройдите в 5-й сектор. Не забудьте взять нужные предметы. Все необходимое заберите на столе для выдачи.
We're supposed to pick our things up here.
Итак, у вас код 4.8. Сейчас подождите. Ага. Вас зовут Владислав. Понятно. Вам выдали только фонарик и дозиметр? Ну хорошо. Проходите в дверь. Сейчас открою.
Yeah, I think this was the same thing, that if you see my flashlight here, everything the flashlight touches is just a shimmering hell. This looks like I'm in a swimming pool to me. I cannot do with this. This is too bad for me. And this is with the global illumination on ultra. It's not the reflections. It's the global illumination here, like even on ultra you need to go to ultra plus and then just it breaks the computer down. Otherwise you're gonna have to accept this very swimming pool looking kind of thing, which I cannot do. I could keep the reflections on. Those doesn't seem to be too heavy. And shadows. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to keep the reflections on and shadows, but not the global illuminations. Ray tracing.
Прежде чем пройти, я должен вас проверить на наличие оружия и прочих незаконных предметов.
Right.
Подождите.
No weapons or anything. Something we're supposed to go down and check out here. Right, being scanned. VRAM have so far topped out at around 6 GB, so that's probably what you're gonna be needing. 6 to 8 GB in 1440p for this game.
Можете проходить. Направляйтесь в лифт. Спускайтесь вниз. Вас там ждут.
Let me just maybe see here. So we are running balanced. If we do quality, if we turn this one down, just to see if we can get a smidge more performance here to keep the ray tracing going. Oh, that's no, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep this because we don't want to... Yeah, we want those to be the highest ones. We want that anisotropic filtering to be the best also. There we go. And let's turn this to high. You could do Ultra Plus on the reflections. You know what? It's probably going to be a minor difference. Let's try it like with these settings. It seems pretty stable. I have a bit of a GPU headroom if the action kicks in. We have ray trace, shadows and reflections. No ray trace global illumination because that's just a super heavy and just cause this kind of underwater effect because of the denoiser is just too crazy. You can walk around a little bit, you're supposed to find your way. Yeah, oh, there we go. There I got a performance hit there. Maybe I'm gonna... Let's try with balanced also. I want it to have a good... As close to a solid 120 frames as possible here. It still looks really good, so... Right, and these are like in Doom and games like the modern games. We floating back and forth. These are guiding, the green ones. You have to press the down arrow or or you want to activate the elevator here. I think I can turn off the performance metric here or I can at least overlay the camera here. If there is something weird happening, you can see the frame rate counter there. Let's turn on the in-game frame rate counter. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, let's keep that one on. So you can see on the top right if my settings are gonna cause any like frame rate problems there. It feels smooth. Has an interesting vibe to it. Quite dark here, but still. It's just a global illumination thing that just causes this water effect, just like the... Oh, we have a little bit still here. It's not too much, it's more almost like a dirt effect. But you still have a little bit of it, but this isn't anything close to the global illumination ray tracing. But if that is bothering you, even the slightest, turn off ray tracing. But yeah, just like in Robocop Rogue. Sit there, like that is just too annoying to me when it's just all over the place. The kind of shimmering watery effect. Seems like you have a sprint meter and you have a limited amount of flashlight that will charge up and down. A little bit like the Fear. I've never been a fan of having like a limited amount of flashlight. For sprinting or stuff, it makes a little bit more sense. But this tells me that it might be... it's not like... It might not be turbo overkill action, it might be a little bit more tactical in a way. Fear action with limited amount, you know, of sprint. And having a limited amount of flashlight means that it might lean into a little bit of a horror action. Apparently you don't... Is this... I can't see my own reflection or something like that in that. Is this... It's hard to tell if this is a window or what it is that is being reflecting or looked through there. I think, yeah, this is a window. There's some water cooling. We are in like maybe a nuclear plant or something like that. Bit of a... Again, this is an indie and you can tell animations aren't like the super crazy or anything like that, but hey. It is about the gameplay and the vibe. It has a pretty good vibe going for it, so interesting to see what's going to be happening. I have no idea what's going to happen here because I've only played up to like trying the flashlight a little bit. I could say this is a little bit of like the Half-Life 2 Doom kind of intro vibe. You walk around and stuff like that.
Но мы же не такие
Um,
теперь. У нас
let's check the controls. Is there any objective that I blah 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 inventory Q? We're gonna try that. Q.
под контролем.
No weapons, alright.
Профессор, спасибо, что меня успокоили.
Весь персонал. Начинаем подготовку к тестированию.
Not sure exactly where I'm supposed to go now. I might have missed
Номером 4-8.
the objectives.
Ждите дальнейших указаний.
I'm guessing I'm supposed to go in there, okay. I'm guessing. Can't see your own body here. That's fine. Definitely guessing I'm supposed to be the test subject. Again, a little bit like a failed experience, maybe like in Half-Life. Alright, bit of a slow burner start for a game called Brutal. So I don't know if this is gonna be mostly action or if it's going to be, you know, more of the horror vibe kind of thing. Oh, here we're supposed to go. This is just like yeah, this is pretty much just like Half-Life starting here. Pulling stuff in a weird little experimental room. And something's going to fail. That looks like a blue screen. Are we sure it's gonna be good? A problem has been detected in Windows. Oh, okay. Windows blue screen. This is this like a almost like a little bit of an Easter eggy thing there. Windows. Oh, they are running Windows XP. Yeah, that's why it crashed. Or is it maybe Windows Vista? Yeah, probably XP. They should have upgraded. Yeah, that's loud, and I don't know what slider that would be affected, if that's the game slider, or if it's just something that you're not gonna be able to affect. Alright. Oh, we got a... Come on, yeah, very Half-Life feeling. Still having good performance here, so that's nice. You are still up and running. Can I check my mail? Folder. No secret folder that wives aren't supposed to check in. No secret photo folder there. It's green over here. Feel like I'm supposed to go this way? I'm supposed to jump up, or... Oh, yes, we are. Would have been made more sense if we could have walked around there and gotten up on this one. also be probably good to be able to turn off this flickering of the flashlight, if you can. I don't think I saw that in the settings, because some of them, it can be very... some are more or less affected by flickering screens, so...
Блять, это что за хуйня?
Okay, so it's gonna be a zombie type of game. Right, definitely a bit of a Half-Life, almost Doom start vibe. Let's try... okay, so I can do that. No. Oh crap, wrong button. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Блять, это что за хуйня?
Well, I had a little bit more of HP, not that one. Save. Quick saving is good. It goes quick to quick save. No HP. Wow, I did not hear that one at all coming. What I wanted to do was just to quickly look at tone mapper. So this is what the game comes with. It's nothing wrong with this tone mapper default here. But again, it is definitely a bit of a colder look, so it's gonna be... this might be something worth for you to try. Also, you have color correction, you know, that you can try to get a little bit interesting result. But yeah, default, I just like this more darker, kind of warmer thing, so I'm gonna keep with that. Wow, okay, so there was no interact prompt there, right? Flashlights do go to recharge back up pretty fairly quickly. I would have just liked it to not be like that. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of the kind of decreasing and then it goes back up when you turn it off. I think in Salico it also bugs me. So far it's kind of slow horror style game. It seems to... oh wow, that's a huge FPS drop. That's gotta be in a shader compilation stutter thing there. Nice screaming ambience in the background. Performance is dropping here quite drastically. Oh. Marco engine. Can't read it really. Yeah, the performance here is definitely taking a bit of a hit. This has an interesting vibe. Do we get a gun? Oh, thank you. Are we gonna be able to shoot some? So far it hasn't been really a lot of brutal that the name implies. Can we use the flashlight at the same time? Yes. That was some stuttering. apparently I got a grenade also. So you only have a weapon wheel, or do we have... Oh. Alright, we get plenty of ammo so far. So, only a weapon wheel, right? Yeah, you don't have any way... You only have in a weapon wheel to swap weapons for some reason. That's an interesting choice. I guess that is to make it more nerve-wracking that when you're in a fight, how to swap weapons. The inventory is pretty much your weapon wheel. So it seems like it's not gonna be a crazy action, more of the kind of horror vibe with how weapon swapping is working, right? But I really like the quick saving. Do think it's a very interesting looking game. If you want it brighter, this is what I liked. But the default vibe is it's more brighter, it's more of a colder looking, right? This is how it was default. But I really feel that this adds a ton more to the ambience, to the darkness here, and just much more what I really think it's a very, very fast loading. Is that a screen or... I don't know. Right, so they have some loots that you can do. Right. It seems interesting, but I was I think by looking at the trailer and by the name, I was just expecting this to be more of a action fast-paced thing here. This seems to be a fair amount of shooting and everything, so maybe I'll do a stream of this where I try to see how it's gonna be feeling. Oh yeah, that's a TV screen, alright, it's gotta be, that's why it looks like it do that. Always double tap. So I don't think that the ray tracing is gonna do a ton for you in this game. So let's just showcase a little bit without the ray tracing. Like I can see there in the right, it does adds a little bit nicer shadows and stuff for sure, and the lightning, it's a little bit more bright look. But this is without any ray tracing, right? It's still, you know, it runs a lot more better. You don't have any of the... You still have a little bit of a sizzling effect here, though. I wonder if that is a post-process effect or what it might be. But if you want maximum performance... Jesus. Right, we're gonna do that. That's fine. Yeah, if you want maximum performance, it's perfectly fine looking with ray tracing on. With off, I mean. But with ray tracing, you know, reflections tweaking from medium to like high or ultra plus, but the global illumination is really what just makes it, yeah, like the entire pillar here is just looking like underwater effect, and the floors here with global illumination ray tracing, it just, oh god, I cannot use ray tracing for that. So global illumination is my recommendation to just turn it off. Just go for the shadows and the like the reflections to be ray traced instead. Sorry if this video has been maybe a little bit of focused on, you know, the technical side here, but I do like ray tracing. I do think it's fun, and the Unreal Engine 5 is still a pretty new. Makes it more interesting to kinda check it out. And I do wish, like this game, I wish that Robocop wrote it, they had an option to disable the global illumination, because that was the biggest problem I had with that game when it came to the graphic. It was that it was in like this like very wavy looking feel to it. Jesus, that is a recoil like is. Am I playing CS Counter-Strike here? Holy mother of recoil. Whoa, okay. They are definitely going for more of a tactical, fear, slower paced action horror vibe than they are towards just like, oh, that's stupid of me. Then they are just pure action vibe. You cannot use the scroll wheel or anything. You have to use the weapon wheel. I feel that isn't that that gives me a little bit of like a Resident Evil vibe. I cannot see how much ammo I have on that one. Oh, 45, 175. Now okay, I see it then. It's gonna go away. Okay. Oh. Oops. Right, so experiment gone wrong. Some monsters coming into our world, and apparently we are fighting the prison guards also. 2 HP. Was something I wanted to check, right? Options. Gameplay, normal, game lag, game enable console, cross alt, blah blah blah. Okay, so you can turn off the HUD if you want that. But it doesn't seem like I can... Yeah, you can't force the HUD to be visible. That was what I was looking for. Like an always HUD on. So I have to pretty much check how much ammo I have within that settings. Full ammo, I'm guessing. I do have... What is this? Some kind of... Oh, that's a grenade and this is a Molotov. If I were to play this, I probably would be... Well, that's not good. Yeah, I would definitely be using quick saves. Weird those monsters come from? What? Was it because I was looting? No. It was. Wow, okay, I almost died here again. Ooh, that was some lag again. Yeah, this might not really be... Maybe I streamed this or not. I'm not really like the Resident Evil, kind of more of a horror vibe. Not really what I feel personally liking about the games here, and those ambush things can kind of be a bit annoying to me. Especially if they just kind of like spawn up on you. It's very hard to hear the enemy where they are like coming from you, just attacking you. So, what am I supposed to do now? Maybe up? I actually don't really know. Oh wait, man, I probably have to go back. Yeah. I opened the door and I'm probably supposed to go back to the lobby area. But yeah, if I were to play this, I probably would need to use, not need to, but I would like to, and probably would use a lot of quick saving. Since like this ambush thing that sometimes is like very hard to hear when they are attacking you, and it can sometimes feel a little bit cheap to me. So yeah, I love the fact that you have the option for quick saving, and that there are checkpoints that also are happening. Is this like you can also manually save games, so you know, that's a really good, it's a good combination there to give you options how you wanna, you know, back this game. Because without quick saves I would probably be a little bit more annoyed by the some of like the traps in the games. I would like, again, like to turn off the kind of strafe lean sway thing, and to have an option for always have the HUD on here is what I'm kind of missing at the moment. I do like, again, I get it. Having the HUD off, it gives you more of like you know, immersive vibe and everything. For sure. Right, that's open now. And the same with the flashlight that you know you have to be a little bit tactical with. It's definitely also gonna give you a bit more of a horror vibe, but I personally prefer to just let me use it always on. But it is a very good, for an indie game here, it's a very good here. But it might not be, it could be easy more, I feel, just as a pure run and gun. As a pure run and gun game, it might be what you get the feeling of. Right, and you have a slow-mo when you use your inventory wheel to help. So that's definitely nice. Really nice. But yeah, it might come off a little bit. A little bit more of a crazy run and gun game from the trailer than it feels like. It's very action oriented, but it felt more almost like, you know, the retro shooter kind of vibe, where you just jump around corners shooting crazy than it is. It's more of a fear shooting vibe so far. I like it's interesting. Definitely. So I definitely feel that I'm probably gonna, you know, be good to just do more than a let's try, do a stream for me where when I feel in the mood for this, and just try it out for a bit longer, set it up for probably my Steam. This is probably gonna work well with my Gamesir, since you have a fewer interactions and the buttons. Let me double check. We are been running for 1 hour, so yeah, this is probably gonna be where we gonna stop this let's try. Hopefully it's been, oh, we already got 3 guns, so you quickly get into the weapons things. But one thing that I'm wondering a little bit is what kind of style this game is going for. We seems to be getting a lot of weapons here, and it seems to be very quickly action thing happens, but we don't have any hot swapping of weapon. We have to use this weapon wheel. Oh, right. This does not have a... I can't see how many... Again, I can't see my ammo all the time here that I would love in an action game. So, yeah, I'm a little bit curious if this game is having like an identity crisis, or good, or trying to go more action horror, or for more like tactical or slower paced horror. And unfortunately, the only time is gonna, you know, tell what kind of direction it's gonna go for. This is very interesting, but it's also definitely a little bit hard to tell. Because when the enemies are ambushing me from like kind of behind, coming zooming like crazy, I want to press, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, to quickly get into weapon, but I have to press this weapon wheel. It does slow down time, but still I have to press this weapon and quickly just pick a weapon and then attack, which is a bit of an interesting choice due to how quick the action is happening. Seems to be we got another weapon already. 1 hour in and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 guns. This is a little bit almost like Half-Life feeling with that. Every do I have to That's locked. That's locked. That's locked. There's no map or anything now. Is this an extra area, secret area, or am I supposed to go here? No, I had to go here because I can't get back. Or can I? Oh no, I can get back. Oh, okay, so that was an extra area. We are supposed to go... I see, I see. Okay, that's nice. Well, yeah, I'm just wondering if there's gonna be like a really good breaking point for this Let's Try. I don't think it's gonna be that, unfortunately. So it's just probably gonna be... Yeah, quick save. I need a quick saving here. It's... Quite a few of these kind of ambush areas. It is, I feel that definitely, like the starting prison and that feels, you know, more of, you know, indie kind of vibe to it. I feel that this is definitely very higher, like, it feels like a higher quality here. Very nice for an indie kind of indie game. Right, so that's giving us some kind of hint here to something to get. Oh, does these... They close themselves? No? Good. So, this one needs some kind of accumulator or something, is what he said. We need to find something else, but yeah. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be any good stopping point. Oh, battery, that's what we need. A little bit of a Half-Life kind of vibe again. I'm guessing this is just very... Did I... Oh. I could not hear that until I was attacked. Well, I'm dead. That's not gonna work. Okay, I was wondering, this one was bugging out because I was like too close to some edge or something there. Oh, that's a suicide one. Well, that's unfortunate. Wow. Well, it is brutal. Quite a difficult. Yes, I'm almost already dead here. That's a suicide bomber. Yeah. Save scamming is gonna be my friend if I do play more of this. Let's get just to the top of the, maybe a little bit in the stairs, and then we stop here. It's definitely a very interesting game, but I feel I'm not sure what is the main focus of this game. Is it Resident Evil vibe? Is it Half-Life vibe? Is it Fear vibe? Is it pure action? Is it more thrilling horror? That I'm so far not really sure what it's going for. It's very action for sure. That is very grainy still. And the enemies seems a little bit... It's a little bit crazy how they kind of like... It's very hard to tell sometimes how they attack you. And the flashlight here is weird. You see? Flashlight is not working. It's working. Now it's working. It seems to bug out quite a lot. I need to double check. So that is not the ray tracing defect there. No. There is some graininess built into the post-processing. Super sharpness looking there with the flashlight. So it's not the ray tracing that is causing that one. I can keep ray tracing on with a little bit of shadow oomph and reflection oomph. And not this one again, because... Whoa! We are in a swimming pool again. Wow, Unreal Engine really needs to tweak their ray tracing, or I don't know. This was the same feeling I got in Robocop Rogue City. Not this bad, but that is insane. And the only way to fix this is by doing that. Ultra Plus. It still is shimmering here, but the FPS is just awful. So yeah, no global ray trace, global illumination, off, gone. Like even on the low, it's just insane. Let's get up to the stairs, and then we are... Testing is over here. Right. Lots of jump scary thing. I wonder if we're gonna have... I'm gonna have to recheck the trailer if we're gonna have some bright or outdoor areas, or if we're gonna be mostly indoor. But yeah, I think this is a good place to stop this. Let's try about around 1 hour. Yeah, I saw that coming in. I have to use the quick save. I got a save scam. There's so like, that's what I don't know. It's not my thing. You have this enemy that I can't really hear. He's just jumping up top from the side when I have one folks in front, and I don't know, maybe I'm not here for that anymore. Of those just weird jumpy things attacking you, ambushing you. So I would have to do a lot of quick save scamming here to be able to enjoy it. It's like, okay, I walk around the corner, now I might be jumped by enemies and pretty much be dead. And it's not enjoyable to me. I didn't enjoy it in Doom 3 or, you know, most games. It can, depending on how it's done, it can be okay, but like there's really no good way for me to avoid taking a hit here. It just straight up is in your face. And again, I have to switch using this. I can't super quickly react to anything, and it just... yeah. I don't know. It's not my... not my style of enemy thing. And now this time there was... I didn't see an enemy jumping from this side up and attacking me. Bit weird. Alright, is it cleared out? So I can just... we loot and stop here. There we go. And I might then do some streaming of this where I test this more. It is very interesting. Graphically, I think this is really nice looking for an indie game overall. And the feeling here works pretty... if it's snappy, if it's great. I don't mind these simpler ones. But I'm not 100% sure about how the enemy kind of aggressively and ambushy thing and that, how that feels with having to use this. What the hell was that? Right, they are very, like, clearly crazy sometimes, the enemy. Like, I was just standing here a little bit and then that just rushed me from so far away. So, to me it comes down to, I'm not sure how I feel about the gameplay. Like, it almost is like... giving me a little bit of a feel like, has this game decided what it wanna be? Because if it is this very quick action, it should be hot swap, you know, between guns. I shouldn't have to be forced to use this. And also maybe this game should be just overall a little bit more brighter if it's going for that crazy action vibe. But then again, I have changed to this one. So this is definitely brighter, the default, so it's easier to spot enemies. But this, I think it destroys a little bit of the vibe. This just adds much more to the vibe of the game. Okay. Again, I'm just standing here and they are just rushing me here. What is this? I think that's for me when the vibe I'm getting from this game is more of a fear or slower pace, that the enemies are a bit slower and the aggressivity, you know, isn't just gunning from half the level away at me. I think if that gameplay was more like that the zombies bit slower and those enemies bit slower, and that the shooting enemies just wasn't just rushing to me blindly firing, that it maybe took a little bit more cover, had a little bit more distance, I would probably feel that this was a really like a top-notch gameplay wise for me personally. But right now I'm just, what is the, it feels like for me like it's an identity crisis. Like, what is this game really main thing? If it is action, I feel it has a lot of things like this, and the HUD disappearing and no options for it to turn off. I think that kind of fights against itself. It doesn't give up that action vibe with all of these elements. So it's, yeah, it's a little bit weird. So let's stop, save here, save the game. Can we quit to menu? Or is this the entire game? No, it's the entire game. Yeah, VLADiK Brutal, it closed the entire game, so let's do this. The quick summarize here is, graphic is real nice for an indie developer and everything, it's solid. The shooting and the feel of the gun here is solid. I like it, like, I wasn't, again, this is where it comes in, like, I like it that the AK there, like, had this kind of sprayed, you have to pretty much do like in Counter-Strike, really heavily pull down on your mouse to get like this stable shooting there. I liked it. I wasn't prepared for it, because this is where like the game is kind of, I feel, fighting itself in what it wanna be. You have this with this high recoil, and you have this very dark environment, lots of flickering, and you have this flashlight that kind of, you have a limited amount of time, maybe 20 seconds at a time or something like that, before you have to like stop it and then it recharge quickly. And you have this weapon wheel that you have to use to swap weapons. That kind of, to my, everything is just implying more of this slower paced, more of the fear, more of even Doom, the enemies and how they attack you, and it's slower, and your speed is, you know, it's a pretty snappy, it's good and everything. So, you know, your speed doesn't really match. You are a little bit too fast for this. So it's kind of like the first thing that kind of gives away that something feels weird. And with how the story builds, it also builds this more action thriller horror vibe, and a bit of the slower vibe of the action is what I'm getting. But as soon as the enemies kicks in, they are gunning at you, they are coming, they are fast, they are just attacking you with very little time for you to like hear them. It's mostly like just super quick reaction times and everything, and that just doesn't vibe with this game for me, really. I want to dig more in, but I feel that probably, unless we are getting more of a very more brighter lit areas, if we're getting guns with less recoil and stuff, and or guns that holds, that you doesn't have to swap to optimize how you're gonna attack enemies, it just doesn't fit in the vibe. They should have, in my humble opinion here, this is my personal opinion, they should have toned down, made the enemies less, slow them down, the ones that are attacking you and the zombies, slow them down a little bit, make the more the human, like they're, I don't know if they are human or possessed or whatever, made them be less aggressive when it comes to attacking you. They can still be aggressive at shooting at you, but make them stay away with more of a cover thing there, and that would give more of a horror vibe, and it would fit more with like having you more time of using the weapon wheel to choose your weapon for the enemy type, and giving you time to react, and fit good with the dark vibe. But as it is now, it's just like the aggressivity and the stuff with that, with how the enemies, and it just doesn't match with how your recoil and your weapon managements and the kind of just the base graphical vibe. Those, to me, they clash. They doesn't match. They doesn't hold hand and match up. The good example was, when I had one of those enemies, I'm fighting those zombies, and those zombies are fast, so you have to fight them fast. But then you have this super fast jumpy guy that just jumped up over this railing there to my right, and it's just like, and I had my pistol out, right, and I need to swap to a better weapon to take care of him almost. And it's like, this doesn't click to me. This doesn't seem like the vibe the game has given me. It is the vibe of the trailer. You just sprinting in there, blazing, but I'm not sure that was the right decision to go for. I think it would have been much more interesting with more of the tactical thing. Or otherwise, the hood should be permanent, maybe brighten the game up a little bit, make you be able to, hot swap using the number keys for weapons and grenades and the molotovs and stuff like that, and make less of the recoil heavy on the AK or the machine guns there. Automatic weapons, make the recoil not being as crazy, and yet you could have gone with the action pure vibe. But right now, to me at least, they clash. But I might dig into this in the future here, doing a stream where I give this a couple of hours or more and see how it lands and settles. But this is the initial impression. It seems interesting. It seems good for first, indie, not first game, but for an indie game. But the gameplay here is not really just super there for me at this point in time. But yeah, you can leave a comment about that or anything you like here. You can leave a like or, thumbs up, thumbs down like that. Follow or check back the channel if you don't want to miss more of me trying games and stuff like that. If you want to see me or be able to maybe catch me play games, more, that's going to be on my Twitch channel at the moment, unless requested otherwise here in the comments. And my Twitch should be linked in my about in YouTube, or find me by just searching Hulk and Strong on Twitch. But yeah, that's it for this Let's Try. Interesting game, but seems to have a little bit of a identity crisis of what is actually is the main focus of the gameplay there. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and bye for this time.